I heard you singing my name.
I sing a lot. I sing a lot of names, places, dates, recipes. You know, you gotta keep it fun. You know. Oh,
I just got comfortable. I just took off my shoes.
Nice. I just got comfortable too. There's definitely a pillow back here for sure. How's your day? You are busy.
I'm pooped. A little bit pooped.
I'm with you. I've been up since like 4, so I'm with you. Yes, it's.
Oh, you have that crazy bakery schedule. So
and
what time do you go to bed?
I break it up too because I have kids and they're with me half the week. So I'll go to work at like 4 o'clock in the morning while they're sleeping, do the bake off, come home, make them breakfast, take them to school, and then I go back to the bakery and then I like prep. So it's like bananas, but you know, it's cool. It just is what it is. And I only have them here half the week. So they're with their dad the other half of the week. But you know, it's a great co-parent situation and we're very lucky. But
it's crazy to think though that when I wake up in the morning, you've already been at work for 4 hours, 3 hours, 3 hours.
and maybe have gone back to sleep depending on the day and like also possible. Cool. I think it's 3:59. I think that we should get started. I think everybody is here who's going to be here for right in this minute, so we can do the thing. Thank you. Thank you for conversating with me at 4 o'clock on a Thursday. So for those of you who are just joining us, I am Lonnie Halliday here with my most illustrious guest, Sola Whaley. I'm like super excited to talk to you. I'm like, we're gonna get into all of the things, but okay. I'm like super hyped on like what you're doing. I think there's so much that happens in isolation that I like to kind of like see like and get all hyped on people, you know, and like just like be able to like go through media and like see what they're doing, and I'm hyped on what you're doing. Can you, for those of you who maybe have been living under a rock and don't know who you are, intro, please?
Hello, my name is Sola, and I'm a recipe developer, video host, former chef. And yeah, you know, some of you know me from Bon Appetit, but now I'm off doing some other stuff, so that's cool. Well, how was that? How was that intro?
That was perfect. And the thing that I like the most about it is it felt very awkward, very fresh. It felt very fresh, which was what I'm excited about, because I'm all about the new today. Like, that's what we're going to talk about today. Today's about like the future. Today's about exciting stuff. Today's about like, what are we doing? Let's get our groove on. It's like 2020. Let's get it, honey. Like, I feel like the vibe today.
All right. I like that. Yeah, I'm into it. I also really like your new hair.
Thank you.
I love it. Yeah.
Thank you. It was down to my ass like this time last week. So,
really? I'll just feel.
Oh my goodness, it's very dramatic. But yes, it does. I'm like, showering in the morning takes like
no time at all.
No time at all.
I've gone through this cycle like 3 or 4 times in my life where I've gone from pixie cut to hair down to my butt, back to pixie cut. But like this time I just kind of stopped here.
It's pretty iconic. Like, I feel like that's an iconic style for you. I feel like you could just like keep on rocking that and keep on rocking that and keep on rocking that.
But now I'm like, am I stuck with this haircut forever?
No, live your life. Like, my rule of thumb is always and forever, just like live your life.
Yeah, I mean, it's still working for me. It's very easy, low maintenance. You just gotta get it trimmed every now and again, and then it takes care of itself. But like that, you got the same situation.
I mean, you know, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen with it. Because it's kind of, it'll go through so many like weird little phases.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it's growing and then it's kind of like, can I tuck it behind my ears? Is that possible? No. Am I going to be able to get definition? Like the whole thing.
Are you going to get an afro though? Oh,
yeah, I was literally
cute.
like sitting here with the pick, like picking it out on top earlier. I was like, what am I going to do with my hair? Because it's new, you know, it's mostly just been under a hat and that. And I've just been like picking it out and like, I'm like, oh yeah, like cute baby fro. I forgot.
Yeah, bring it back.
Yes, it's coming. Don't worry. It's on its way.
Yeah, I think it looks great. I'm really, as soon as I saw the picture, I was like, oh, now I want to cut off all my hair too.
You know, it's funny. People were like, whoa, are you okay? Are you going through a crisis? Like, I was like, no, I also had hair this short all through my teens and early 20s. So from the time I was like 14 to the time I was like, like late 20s almost, it was just like short hair. So it's not like I've never gone there before, but it's exciting. It's nice. It's a nice change.
I like it. Yeah, it looks great.
Thank you. Speaking of looking great, we can talk about whatever we want. I really want to talk about your new show. Hilarious, informative, fun, wholesome. Yeah,
wholesome. Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
it's wholesome. I love wholesome things. Your show is so funny. So for those again who've been living under a rock, please tell us all about it.
Well, it's on the now newly rebranded Babish Culinary Universe, formerly the Binging with Babish Network. He's grown and expanding, and I guess it's starting with me, and the show's called Stump Sola. And, you know, I really feel like I'm the most creative when I run into a challenge. Because, you know, when you've got like everything available to you, I'm one of those people, I just like get stuck, like deer in the headlights. Like, what do I choose? So we wanted to figure out a way to like limit me. And this wheel was like a really fun way to like throw in a twist, kind of like, you know, last minute, because if I overthink stuff, it's also terrible. So it's like a spontaneous thing. Like, so I know like one part of it. I like we go in like for Halloween. We've got the one we just did, like the bodega one. I knew I was gonna do a tasting menu, so I had like a rough plan, and then we throw a twist on it with the wheel, and then I gotta buy everything from the bodega. So it's really fun because I can't really overthink it. I can kind of just go with the flow and just have fun and relax, and like, yeah, it's just really fun for me, and I hope that it's fun for other people too, because I'm just kind of playing around.
It's so fun. It really is. I was sitting here with my babysitter watching it, and he like had stuff he had to do, and he was like not giving up. He was just like, this is so good. And I was like, yeah, it is. He's like, no, it's like really, really good. She's so funny. And I'm like, yes, agree, hard agree. I was really bummed that there were only a few episodes, to be perfectly honest. So how many do you guys have planned? Tell us.
The first season's going to be 10, and it's on Saturdays, but not like every Saturday. It's just like whenever it gets edited kind of situation, you know, because it's a really small team. So we're just kind of making it happen, you know?
Yeah.
So there won't be one this Saturday, but there will be one the next Saturday and the Saturday after that. So, hey, cool.
Fabulous.
Cool. But like some of the wheels, I just like know what I want to do. So like, I'm just like, nah, like for Halloween, I'm going to do scary candy. And I just move the wheel to where I want it to go.
Yeah. You're like, I'm actually the producer and the writer, so here's the thing. I can write whatever I like. I love that. You know,
so sometimes,
I wish that I hope someone, and I'm going to like put this out in the universe because this isn't my lane, but I know somebody watching it must be their lane. I feel like there should be like a Stump Sola, like play along at home game where it's like, because it's like a game show kind of like, I'm like a child of the 80s and 90s. Like I loved watching game shows when I was a kid. I love the format. It's like such a delight for me. but I feel like somebody needs to make like a stump solo bingo, or like a stump solo, something like where they can get like meta, and we can like play along with you while you're like doing the thing. I'm putting that out there for everyone watching.
Yeah.
And even if you watch it after, if you're watching it not live, because we're gonna save it at the end, like DM me if you make like a bingo card. Like,
well, tiny wheels. There
yeah,
should be tiny wheels.
Like, oh, like maybe I could do a
little
tiny wheel.
Yeah.
Right. I would love to like play along somehow. You have a lot happening. You also have something else happening.
Well, I just started a column at Food 52. It's going to be like a column / video series. And what I noticed a lot like during quarantine was people really wanted to have substitutions for recipes, because you don't want to run out for like one thing. So my cooking style kind of adapted to that. I feel like I used to be way more like rigid, like, no, you must use all-purpose flour. But then like I've been playing around with stuff more myself, and I've realized like so many recipes are so flexible. So the whole point of this is going to be like flexible recipes. Basically, I'm just going to give you like a template. It's just like a guide, inspiration, techniques, and then you can make it work with the stuff you have on hand. That's like the goal.
Also, yeah. I watched the paella-ish one.
Oh yeah.
And it was great. And I really love that. I think it's so empowering and so freeing, and like it allows people to kind of like get out of a place of just like, I need to follow, like you're describing, like something really rigid, and like, you know, like there's like a fear-based kind of like making of dinner, and this really is like almost like this like passport to just sort of like, okay, go be free, like free range, like these are the guidelines that you need to be successful, and like you can riff. And I really love that. It's a very empowering way of teaching. I think that it really does, you know, when you're talking about like the chicken and rice, how everyone's mom has it and it makes you feel really nostalgic, and like I was like, yes, exactly, this is genius. How has this not existed before? This is genius. So cool. You're giving us all the excellent content.
Oh, thank you. I just want people to feel like, I want you to have permission to do whatever you want. It's your kitchen, you know?
Yeah.
So make your own rules. Yeah.
It's no, it's really helpful. I think that's the thing. People are like, how do I get, you know, you're talking about searing the chicken, and it's like, how do I get, and you kind of walk people through that science behind it, where it's like, oh, you know, you go into it, you're like, you talk about what's about like the contact, so not so much as the high heat, it's about the direct contact, and you really kind of lay out, okay, these are the things that need to happen for you to have success with X, Y, and Z, and these are why things work. And I think that arming people with that knowledge is just fabulous. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I hope people like it. I mean, it's fun. I'm just trying to have fun, and I hope other people have fun too, you know? That's all that matters.
Yeah, having fun in the kitchen is key. It's definitely, I've had days where it is not. And, you know.
Well, although,
okay,
nice. So the other day I had a little too much fun. And it was late. It was after I finished working. I wanted to make myself some dinner, started drinking some wine, and I got the worst cut I've ever had.
Oh, no.
I was just like totally zoned out listening to a podcast, and I went straight through my thumbnail.
Oh, like not the top. Oh,
not the top. It was
Yikes.
It was so awful. I haven't had a cut like that, like I think in years. So like, just a good reminder that you gotta keep your wits about you. Maybe hold off on that second glass of wine when you're cooking.
I do not drink, and that is definitely like part of, you know, it would be nice to have champagne, and also I'm not, you know, getting a little cut on my finger like that, but I'm sure I'm sure the trade-off is gonna work out for sure.
You know, I learned my lesson, you know? Sometimes it's like a really good way to like knock you back to earth. Knives are sharp.
Well, hopefully, I mean, when they're dull, that's like the worst.
That's worse too. Yeah, it's all terrible.
Yeah. I got, so when I was posting about the live, I put up, you know, an opportunity for people to ask questions. I got so many questions. People want, like, people are so, I can tell people are like so inspired by you because they keep asking what you're inspired by. I got so many people asking what, like different iterations of like, I wrote some of them down so I wouldn't forget because I have a lot of questions. It was
okay,
like,
all right, here we go.
All like, you know, what happens in the mind of Sola? For sure. It was like, who inspires you? What inspires you? Like, I'll do them one by one. So like, what inspires you when you're looking, because you're recipe developer. So that's like one of your multi-hyphenates, recipe developer. So when you're going to develop a recipe, what inspires you? Where do you go? What resources, etc.? How does that process look for you?
This is a hard question. Okay, I mean, I guess I really like to want, like, my goal is always to make a recipe that people are going to want to make. Like, for me, that's like first and foremost. So I just kind of think about like, what do people want to eat right now, this month? How are you feeling? Like, I feel like in the beginning of quarantine, people were more into comfort food. And now I think people are getting a little healthy because we've all gained a little bit of weight in quarantine. So I'm thinking of going for like lighter stuff. And then I guess I have like a lot of global influences just because that's how my mom cooked. I'm from LA, and like, it's just like a great place to grow up because there's so much really, really good food all around you. Like, my mom's favorite thing to do is she would just go to like a grocery store and pick up like something random that she doesn't know how to use, talk to people there, find out how to cook it. So like, I guess I just really like to, you know, explore like that, you know?
Cool. So mom's inspiration. And like, I think like that, I mean, it very much parallels like the way that you're working with the projects you're working on, where you're sort of like giving people the freedom, you know, it's like a framework, and it's like the freedom. And I should imagine probably like your mom had like a lot of skills that she could just like very great baseline, like knife skills and like an understanding of like how to cook protein in a general way. And like all of these things that really informed, you know, sort of like the ability to execute while exploring. It's like you've got the foundation and, you know, go forth and have fun. And that's, yeah, I mean, I see that. I see very clearly like what you're doing with Food 52 and then what you saw with Mom. So that's cool. I like that. I love LA too. A lot of New Yorkers, like, it's like gauche to say that you love LA, but I love LA. I'm from mainly the West Coast.
I hate driving.
Oh, it's like, it's an LA thing. It's like, you gotta, that's like payment for LA. Like, you gotta, or you're just like a hermit or maybe not a hermit, like ultra rich, and everyone just comes to your house. Right? Like, you don't have to drive anywhere. You're just like, do whatever you're gonna do here. But
it was crazy. Like, you have to get in a car to go to the grocery store. You know, or just like to go buy toilet paper, and now I'm just so spoiled because I literally just go downstairs. You know?
Yeah, it's I have a friend, she works in like film production, and she was visiting LA from London, and she was like, oh, I'm gonna walk around, and she said someone stopped and was like, ma'am, are you okay? Did your car break down? Where's your car? I can give you, like, you're walking? Are you okay? She was like, no, I'm just walking down the street. And they're like, but you're walking to your car? Are you stuck? And she was like, no, I'm literally.
Just does not compute.
They were like, I don't understand. You have to stay here. I don't understand what you're talking about. Yeah, it was, she said it was a really shocking moment for her as someone who'd been living in London. But yeah, I do like LA though. The produce is great. There's so many cultures coming together.
I miss very much.
It's good. The sun.
Yeah. And like the first time I moved to New York and I saw K-Town, I was like, this is a little disappointing because K-Town in LA is like a whole city. You know what I mean? And
right.
We have like a block or two. I mean, it's good, dense, it's nice, it's good, but like K-Town in LA is very, very impressive.
Yeah, it is. It's big. But everything is
big,
elbow roomy in LA. You know, you just have a space to luxuriate out on the West Coast. So, love
like
it.
A gazelle, just leap through the country. Yeah, it's just so much room. Like my first apartment in New York, I could go like this and touch both walls. which was like a really big adjustment because my apartment in LA was huge and I had a terrace and it was like half the price.
Wow. Yeah,
Welcome to New York.
My first New York apartment was like, I moved in with someone and I was like, black mold, the kitchen's in the living room, there's a hole in the ceiling, like we're moving. And we looked, and it was like, the broker was like, look at this lovely East Village apartment. And I was like, there is a hole that I can see outside. Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? Lovely East Village, walk up. Like, I don't want to live here though. And it was, New York is wild for apartments. You really have to like be present to, with what's happening there. It's a lot. I love New York though. Totally different reasons, but definitely for sure. I have more questions. Can I keep asking questions?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Chef Tara Thomas, one of my personal favorites generally in life, who actually just came out with a super beautiful CBD candy. Like, I think it dropped today. She did like a collab with Gossamer. It's like a CBD candy. It's delicious. Anybody who knows me knows I love CBD. Huge fan.
I love CBD too. I think it's changed my life.
It's like a daily CBD, kava, magnesium. I make a drink out of it.
What does magnesium do?
Magnesium's like a musculoskeletal relaxer. So I drink that at night for restful sleep, like chewable calcium or like a CalMag, something like that, like a CalMag zinc chewable supplement. It helps with restful sleep. It just helps your muscles relax. Same with kava, which is like my favorite thing ever. A magnesium, CBD. I'm a fan. Big fan.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I need CBD. I have a morning CBD and a nighttime CBD. Yeah. And I just can't like function without it. I thought it wasn't real, but like once it like builds up in your system, it's real. Oh, it's real. It really helps.
The stuff that she developed too is like excellent. I literally got it last night. I took a couple yesterday and then I took a couple today. And I'm similar. Like I just need its help. I don't I don't drink and I don't use drugs, but like CBD is like a non-negotiable for me. Absolutely. But she had a question. She asked what you think. Oh. And
yeah,
go ahead.
East Village. It gets louder on here.
There you go. What do you see as the future of cannabis and food for Black and brown folks?
Whoa. I mean, I want to see more of it personally. And I like, one thing that is like kind of upsetting is that now that cannabis is legal, it's kind of like these bigger corporations are kind of stepping in and it's taking away space from Black and brown people. Mm-hmm. But I'm hoping like more boutique producers get more attention. Mm-hmm. And I really like cannabis. I really like cooking with cannabis. And I think that we're going to see a lot more of it. And I feel like we're just like years away from it being like federally legal.
It's I can't imagine it won't be. I mean, I feel like we're in such a mentally revolutionary time. Like, obviously there's a lot of change happening in the world right now, but I just think that like everyone's sharing this like moment of heightened consciousness. I think specifically because of the pandemic, it's like we're sharing like a global, like we're all on the same channel on TV, basically. Mm-hmm. There's all kinds of other stuff that happens in like individual like countries and regions, etc. But like that's one thing where like we're all on that same TV channel. And I think that like there's just this sort of, it's like an aperture has just sort of opened, I think, in the collective consciousness. And I think that like, I think it should absolutely be legal. I think that it could help so many people. I think that it is a huge industry that we can tap into. It ties into like sustainability and like sustainable agriculture and like so many things that we are like, how do we solve these problems? And it's like, well, there's this one thing that you can sort of like expand out into all these other things, and there you are. So I hope so. I hope that that happens soon.
I mean, it's definitely another thing that's like completely, totally changed my life. I used to have to take so much like medication, like anti-anxiety, antidepressant, something to wake up, something to go to sleep. Mm-hmm. And like now with CBD and cannabis, I just feel like more balanced. Mm-hmm. And I just like, I don't know, it's completely changed the way my brain works. And it's really sucks that it's so hard for some people to get. Like, I think it can help a lot of people.
I agree. Chronic pain, like so many people with so many different.
You should. Everyone should have access to it.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, you're okay. You were pinwheeling for a second, and I'm like, no, don't go. We're having such a good time. Yeah, I'm similar with CBD. It's like it's done so much for me. I have like major anxiety, panic attacks, history, like PTSD, all kinds of stuff. And it's like one thing that really helps me manage my anxiety for sure. It like helps me with sleep. I've suffered from like nightmares since I was like a kid, and it's really something that helps me a great deal. So I mean, I'm really glad it's like widely available these days. It's amazing.
I love microdosing because I don't really want to feel high all day.
Microdosing on CBD or LSD?
No.
Tell me more.
No.
Really? I'm like,
no,
she's microdosing on stuff sola. She's a genius.
I've never tried that, but I'm totally open to it. But no, I like to make like a can of butter and take like the tiniest amount, I think 0.10 grams. And it doesn't make me high, but it just like, I feel like it just makes life easier to deal with. You know what I mean? Yeah. I just feel like calmer and like more balanced. And like I used to have weird things. I was afraid of leaving the house, and I had to like talk myself up. But like all of those things really just faded away with just like 0.1 milligram.
That's remarkable. Like truly. And congratulations. Like that kind of stuff. I mean, the amount of money I've spent literally saying just to my therapist, I'm so sick of like why is my body just like diametrically opposed to the way that I want to live my life, you know, and really having that conversation with my therapist, like, excuse me, it's, you know, it's something to manage and deal with and care for. And it's also like, it's like this liability where there's like a disconnect. For me, that's been my experience with it. It's like this major disconnect with like what my body gets up to. I went on Chopped one time. I was a competitor. They like headhunted me. No,
what
but
episode?
listen, but
I love Chopped.
But I had a panic attack and was with the EMT for like 2 hours and then got sent home. It was crazy because they like brought me, because a lot of people apply, but sometimes they like reach out and they pull people in, and they had pulled me in, and I was like really excited to just like go and have fun. Like as you described, you're like, I always know what I'm kind of gonna do. Like I knew what I was gonna do. I was totally content to like win, lose, or draw. I thought it was like super fun. It was like house money, and I was super chill. I was chill in the green room before, and it really was just like, we got all mic'd up. We did like some of the opening shots, and like that was fine, and I was totally fine, and we were just standing there, and all of a sudden I was just like, you know, I got like lightheaded, and I was like, oh my god, this like mic pack thing is on me too tight, and I really just like nearly went down. And it really was just this like a physical reaction to my set. Like I felt perfectly fine in my head, and to be able to sort of like have things that you can just like those kinds of things to be able to manage, like that's what CBD does for me, for sure. So yeah. Maybe you'll go on Chopped again. Maybe.
Yeah, I want to see you on Chopped.
I don't know. They were so lovely. They were just like, it happens, like don't stress. I was really embarrassed, and and they like put me in an Uber. They're like, go home, because you know I was like shooting up far away from my house, and I got in an Uber and I went home, and I just like called the person I was dating at the time, and it was just sobbing like in the Uber on the way home.
I'm sure you're not the first person though.
You know, like, you're not the first. And you probably won't be the last either.
Yeah, that's why they always have backups. Like stuff like this probably happens all the time. You know.
And I mean, I think that I'm still in touch with someone that I met in the green room that day. She was so lovely, and like I remember the first time I saw her after that, she was like really sheepish to be like, hi. And I was like, whoa, remember when I almost went down? She was like,
I had to break the ice, just like get to the point.
Yeah, she was just like, oh, thank goodness you said something. You know, she was really grateful, I think so. But yeah, it's CBD. big time. CBD forever.
It's turned into a CBD ad.
Yeah.
Everyone's in the comments is like, I'm gonna go get some. And you should, guys. You should.
You should. You should. Okay. I'm gonna go back to the questions. There are many good questions. What are your 3 favorite wintertime dishes to cook?
Ooh, okay. I really, really love braised lamb shanks. Like a lot. They're so not cool. It's like, I feel like they're like an old man's dish, but I love them. I like how like succulent it gets, and I really love scooping out the marrow.
Yeah.
And it's like expensive. So for me, it's like when I want to treat myself, it's really nice to like spend the whole day letting it braise, and then have a lamb shank. And then I guess the other one is fondue. It's another old man food, I think. Cheese fondue, like a cauldron of bubbling cheese.
Yes. Whoa. I don't know why, but I was not expecting fondue, but yes to fondue.
We always do fondue for New Year's because we don't usually go out.
Cool.
So that's
I don't go out on New Year's either. I call it an amateur drinker holiday.
That's exactly what it is.
You're like, that, like, getting caught out like on St. Patrick's Day.
No, it's the worst thing in the world.
No,
yeah.
Miss me.
Definitely.
Yeah, not with it.
Yeah.
Cool. So wait, what's the third? So lamb
third?
shanks, braised lamb shanks, fondue.
The third one's weird. I really like eating ice cream when it's cold.
Okay. Listen though, that's not weird. Ben and Jerry's sells so much ice cream in Vermont. Like so much.
Oh, really?
Yes. Apparently, like, you're not alone. Apparently, you're not alone. Like, this is a thing. And, I have an ice cream coming out soon. It's crazy that you said that. We didn't plan that. I'm doing a collab. I feel like I can talk about it. Oddfellows. I'm doing a collab with Oddfellows.
Oh, I love Oddfellows ice cream.
I'm
That's
not gonna
so exciting.
I'm so excited. I'm like, what? I get an ice cream. I love ice cream. Ice cream is there's an Ample Hills like a mile and a half away from my apartment, and in the summertime my favorite thing to do is like walk up to Vanderbilt to get my Ample Hills and then walk back. It's like my favorite. I walk through the park. It's super nice. Yeah. There's an Ample Hills opening on my corner, and I'm like, wait, I love this, but I hate this. Like, I can't.
Too close?
Yeah. Yes, I can see it from my window. And they haven't opened yet, but they've got like a little cart out there, like for the meantime.
Ooh, that's cute.
Getting people like psyched on it and like hooked on like ice cream on this corner. I'm very mixed about it. I'm like, but I love going up. Yeah, I love ice cream. Big ice cream fan.
You could get one on your walk to get more.
Listen. I mean, I'm not gonna say no. That actually could be like a really good kid motivator, because sometimes my kids are just like, it's like 50-50 though. I'm like, how do you not want to walk up to go get ice cream? And they're like, it's so far, it's through the park. And I'm like, you guys can stay here. But if I get them one and then we go together, it's like no whining.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's the plan. That is the plan.
Oof, you just got summer 2021 sorted. If we can go outside, that's gonna be summer 2021 for me. I can see that for sure.
I'm excited for your ice cream. Oddfellows always has like the coolest flavors.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I am so excited. They really do have the best flavors. It's funny because it's like the bodega thing is like mirrored. They just did a whole like capsule collection with the Bodega Boys. They did like a bodega collection.
Cool.
Yes. Chico sticks, which were like my favorite favorite candy as a kid. They turned it into an ice cream.
Oh,
with
that's
like
awesome.
Chunks of Chico sticks in it, and it was like a peanut butter ice cream. Like, best thing ever. I can't say enough about their flavors, like their whole process. Like, they're so fun. Like, they have been so lovely, and the process has been so fun, and I've had so much fun. And I'm not going to tell you what the flavor is. People have to like stay tuned for that.
Okay.
But
is it CBD?
I wish. That would be amazing.
That sounds like a great thing.
I pitched them like a period pal one with like rhodiola, which is an adaptogen that's like great for depression. it had like spirulina and rhodiola, and it was like vegan, and it was like all these things, and that wasn't the one they picked. But
I like that one.
it would still be good. Like
Yeah, it would
like
totally
a
be good.
rhodiola syrup, which rhodiola tastes like roses, so it's like almost like a rose syrup in like
Nice color too.
oh
Vibrant.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was definitely like part of it when I was thinking about it, was like the whole tie-dye loveliness. But the one that's coming is going to be amazing. I think it should come out like next month, so people gotta
I'm
like
gonna keep my eyes out.
you should yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be so good. Okay, I have more questions.
Okay.
What is your favorite recipe of yours that you've developed? What's your like favorite one of your own? Like, how is that? Like, how do you feel when you finish? Are you like, yes, it's me, Sola, look at my recipe? Or are you kind of like, I'm gonna like do something similar and do it better next time? Like, how does that go? What's the vibe?
I wish I could go back and improve every single thing I've done. Like, I think everyone at work knows me as like being the a little like, I like over test. I test to death. Like, I'll just keep making a recipe over and over again, and everyone's like, it's fine. I'm like, it can be better. And then the only reason anything gets published is because there's a deadline. Like, if I was working independently, nothing would ever go out into the world.
I
mean?
need some of your energy, and I'm always like, throw some salt in.
No, that's cool. That's totally cool. I hate everything I've ever done.
No.
It's terrible. This is why I need so much CBD to function.
Well, that's the segue into like the next kind of question that somebody asked, but it could be like every recipe that you hate, like ranked in order of how much you hate them, because somebody was asking about a cookbook. So like people are like, do you have any cookbook plans? That was a question that I got. But that could be like, and I hate this one so much because
Can I talk about the recipes I hate?
You
that
can.
I've done?
I don't think
Okay,
that
okay.
exists. Everyone's so like, positive, which is lovely, but you could be like,
I've got this one down. I'm ready for this. Okay, so I did this chili crisp when I was at Serious Eats, and it's really popular, and it's fine. It's good. It's whatever. But like now, I wish I could go back and like remove half of the ingredients. You know what I mean? I think I just like, I overthought it. There's like black cardamom in there, star anise, and mushroom powder. There's too much stuff in there. I can't believe so many
that's
people
a lot
actually
of
like.
stuff.
It's like the most like overwrought long recipe. I think that like the more I develop recipes, the simpler they're getting, because I think it's one of those things that's like when you're a little immature and insecure, you just kind of like overthink stuff.
Yeah.
So I wish I could go back and like just strip that recipe in half, because it's like one of my most popular ones, and I feel so bad for everyone making it.
But they're like with it. Like they're with it. Like let them live their lives, because they're clearly with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they're so with it. That's funny. Yeah, I think for me, like it can be a place where like imposter syndrome shows up, where I'm like, oh, this is too simple. This is too easy. I mean, I've learned like as I've grown to like let that go, but that definitely is like that resonates, because I'm like, but it can't be this easy to do whatever, do this thing, or make money by sending an email or whatever it is. It's is
totally
echoed in what you're saying. It's like, oh, this is too simple. But there's lots of hard stuff. I feel like I learned that I have to like just be like, no, I'm gonna take this easy one too. I'm gonna take the easy one.
I think some of the like most brilliant recipes are like super easy, They requires a lot of like, you have to be really smart to come up with like a really nice, clean, simple recipe that still like delivers,
Yeah. And like is consistent for, like when, like, especially for you, I'm sure it's like, there's probably, and I can't imagine like what informs your process, but like I bet a part of it is, being able to kind of think through like what a home cook would sort of like do, you know, or like how they kind of behave in terms of like when you're going to write something. I know that when I've written recipes for, you know, whatever, it's kind of just like, okay, how are you going to read this and interpret it? So like, you know, being able to have something that's like simple and replicable and all that kind of stuff across the board and makes sense to people is probably.
Yeah. I think I have to really step back a lot because I have like a tricked out kitchen that most people don't have, you know, and I have a lot of ingredients and I have a lot of access to a lot of ingredients because I'm like in the middle of Manhattan. So I do have to like step back a lot and think like, okay, the average person does not have this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the average person doesn't have the time or even want to spend the amount of time on a dish as I do.
Sure.
So I it's a lot of like, I gotta just like, it's about empathy, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, when I was watching the Food 52, I was like, ooh, I want a control freak. Like, I want that at my house.
You don't need one though. You don't need one.
I know, that's
it's nice for me.
I was like, ooh, I want that. Like, that's nice. That's nice. I want that.
I mean, I truly love it very much. A lot. But
yeah, well, I mean, as someone who is in your position, you're a recipe developer, you know, like that sort of like precision to be able to like start with a framework is probably really important to have access to the precision. Obviously, like, especially with what you're doing right now, it's kind of like the whole vibe is to be able to like relax into something, but to be able to have precision in a framework, I'm sure is like very helpful for you as a starting point.
Yeah, definitely. But I also like to test everything on my kitchen burners because they're terrible. So if I can make something work on my terrible electric stovetop, you can make it work at home too. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's facts. Okay, so I will actually riff on something then, because someone said, what's your favorite source for research? And then you just said you're in the middle of Manhattan. So what's your favorite source for like those specialty ingredients that you're talking about? Like, you know, obviously, you know, you're developing all kinds of things all the time. So what are your top tips? What are your favorite places? And don't tell us if it's your special place, although you should, because we can be supporting them also. So let's go.
So one of my favorite places is SOS Chefs.
Oh.
It's right here in Alphabet City, and they mostly provide ingredients to restaurants, but they also have like little small volume things for you to purchase. And the thing I love about them is because since they mostly supply to restaurants, they go through their stuff really fast, so their spices are like super fresh. You know, nothing's been sitting on the shelves.
Right.
The owner actually like goes to the Middle East and sources the spices herself, which is it's like the best quality of everything. She has the best rice, the best vinegars. She has like really cool vinegars too, like honey vinegar, elderflower vinegar. It's like really fun place to just go in there and get something cool. There's always something cool in there.
I've never been there. I don't know that place.
You should go. And now they're actually, because of the pandemic, they're selling online too. So you can get it all online.
I wrote it down, SOS Chefs in Alphabet City. Yeah, that's what I love about living here too, is like there can just be this like treasure trove where you're like, but what is that? I've never heard of it. I remember the first time I heard about Sahadis, I was like, what is that? And they were like, you don't know what Sahadis is? you hick. Like,
you know, that's how they made me feel too when I first found about Sahadis.
Well, sure, that's like, you know, initiation to being a New Yorker. It's like you've gotta be a hick until you're not, I guess, right? Like that's the thing. It's like you're a hick till you're not. Okay, cool. So SOS Chefs in Alphabet City. Anywhere else that you like?
I mean, everyone loves Kalustyan's, right?
Yes, everyone loves Kalustyan's, right?
Kalustyan's is awesome. Sunrise Mart.
Sunrise Mart.
Mart.
I love Sunrise Mart.
Sunrise Mart. The best snacks.
Yeah. Yes.
And then also,
and just like and tchotchkes. Like I could just go in there and just look at everything. Like I just like looking. I like looking at packaging. I'm one of those weirdos where I'm like, oh, look at this.
I do too.
It's so cute.
I wish I had a bigger apartment to just have like tiny boxes.
Lots of tchotchkes all over the place. I mean, my apartment is pretty small, but I have lots of tchotchkes all over the place because I just am a tchotchkes person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm sure you get your restaurant, like all your pots and pans and things like that out down on the Bowery. Do you do that? I'm assuming. Do you ever go down there for like pots and pans and that equipment of any kind, smallwares, stuff like that?
Honestly, I haven't bought anything in a really long time.
Fair.
I've been like set up for years now, and
That's
once
great.
you get that good stuff, it doesn't really, nothing's not going anywhere.
No, it's true.
You know?
It's true. Sometimes I really like, I think it's pronounced Barry, Bari, on the Bowery, kind of near Houston. I really like them. Their selection is like fine. They have like kind of everything that everyone else on the Bowery has. They're like really helpful with like, they know their catalogs front and backwards, so they can kind of like find stuff for you really easy. But they're always like super respectful in there. Like whenever I walk in there, they don't give me the like, hey honey, you know, that sort of like patronizing, like they look at me and they're like, you must be a chef or whatever it is. Or like, let me just respect you. And
that's
which I'm like,
give them all your money.
I do. I'm like, how is this like the bench? Like, how is the bar so low that I'm like, ooh, basic respect? I'm coming back. Like,
the bar is very low though. It's so low. Like,
but they're lovely.
I always get this, like, whenever my husband is just like, you know, like a normal human being who's nice and supportive to me, all my friends are like, he's the greatest man in the world. And I'm like, no, all men should treat you like this. And if they don't, they're trash.
Yes. Yes, you all are tripping. Yes. Yes.
Get out of your relationship.
Yeah. It's
on a tangent here.
I get that a lot too. My boo is like really lovely. Like, I hurt my foot I started running during the pandemic. I was like rage running. I never ran in my life. I never ran. I wouldn't like run for the bus. And I started running during the pandemic. I went from like 0 to running like 5 to 8 miles a day every single day. And I got tendonitis and had to like ice my foot for 8 weeks straight. And it's better, but it's not fully better. Like if I hit it too hard, it's like, I'm sorry, we did not consent to this. Like, slow down. You're older than you were, and we don't like this. And he got me a bicycle. Like
that's nice.
Which was like the nicest thing. And he's so wonderful. And people are always like, he's a keeper. He's so lovely. And I was like, I'm a keeper. Like, you guys don't even what are you talking about? He is awesome, and I picked him for me, who is awesome. Like, yes. Like, you know, I do get the like, make sure you know, treat that man right. And I'm like, I do. And that's why, like, yes, we reciprocally treat each other right. Like, I'm a treasure. What?
Totally. Yeah.
Agree. I get where I'm picking up what you're putting down. That's what the kids say.
I want all women to know that they're treasures.
Yes. Just all people should be with people who treasure and cherish them. It is true. Yep. It is very true. It's important to be cherished. I have more questions. I really do have more questions.
Okay.
What is your favorite weeknight meal of yours and or your significant others, or is there one that's for both?
Well, my husband is a chef, so we never have dinner together.
Oh gosh.
He's working those late hours, you know, making, you know how it works.
Oh yes.
So we really only eat together on Sundays, and he has Sunday, Monday off, but like Sunday is our big day to like cook together. And it's always something crazy because we kind of just spend the whole day, like we'll go to the market and we'll kind of spend the whole day cooking, and it's always different because it's kind of like, you know, like we'll be really silly and be like, let's make sushi, and that takes a lot of time.
Totally.
Yeah,
19th century something.
Yeah. It's like a stuffed sola at our every Sunday. That should be the spin-off, actually.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we're doing some development right now.
There you go.
Yeah, on the weeknights I'm alone, so it's like a really sad lunch. It's like salad with tofu.
Fair. I mean,
it's pretty boring. Yeah.
All right. That's I love that. I love that ritual. I love the like market aspect and element. Union Square Farmers Market. Is that where you go? Yeah. I love that market. I have Grand Army Plaza's I live at the bottom of the park, and the Grand Army Plaza is at the top, and I still prefer to go to Union Square. I feel like it's busier, but it's like I feel like the organization's a little bit better. Mm-hmm. I love Union Square Farmers Market. It's good. I have more questions. I could keep going. There's so many questions, but do you have questions? Or is there something else you wanted to talk about today? I feel like we've just been like riffing.
This is good.
Sweet.
This is cool. I have no plan.
Amazing.
I have no plan.
I love it. So Kitty Catch asks, how is a recipe developer different than a chef who's writing a cookbook?
Oh, well, I don't think they are, right? If you're writing a cookbook, you're just developing recipes. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm not answering this well. I mean, so I believe in like the old school definition of a chef as the person who runs a kitchen. Mm-hmm. But I think that the definition of chef has like loosened up because of like, marketing, media. Mm-hmm. And now it's just like anyone who does stuff with food.
Yeah.
But like, I don't care. I don't care who you call a chef. If you want to call yourself a chef, call yourself a chef.
Right. So people might call you a bad chef or like a terrible at your job chef, or whatever. If you're not really that, but it's okay. It doesn't matter.
I don't like to call myself a chef because I'm not in a kitchen anymore. Because I think it's, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe because I'm like more of like old school and I came up through that like brigade system. Mm-hmm. So I consider myself a recipe developer because I'm just making recipes for you at home.
No, I love that. I love the clarity around that, and just like, it really does sort of like, it is about like being in the now and being in the future. And I love that, the energetic sort of like thought and intention behind, you're like, I'm a recipe developer and host. Like, that's what you're up to. That's where you're going. Like, that's what's up.
I don't know what to call myself though. What did I even say in this bio?
Recipe developer and host. That's what you said.
I don't. Okay. No, people really want to call me a chef, and I'm like, please don't.
No, it's funny because it took me a long time to get very comfortable with that. And like, people always ask me, and I actually say different things all the time. I'll be like, I'm a pastry chef, and then people are like, are you? And I'm like, like that is the thing that I say to people when they don't have any concept of like the nuance of what the food world looks like. It's something I'll say because people like can put that as a placeholder, linguistically, because they don't know what I do. And that's kind of like a thing that they get, like if I'm talking to my mom's friends, they're not going to know. If I'm like, oh, I'm an on-set food stylist, they're like, what are you talking about? That's like a chef? Like, what are you talking about? They don't know, and they don't like, we could have that conversation, but it's presumptuous of me that they would know the ins and outs of like the weird, freaky New York City food, whatever. Yeah. So like whatever it is.
Yeah.
A lot of times I say that I'm like, this is so corny. I'm a magician, and like I just like, or like I'm a creative, and like that's just my medium. It's like I really wanted to go to art school when I was younger. And I got into the food world. It was like it was the first time I'd ever felt like I had like personal power to create. And I could see my contribution. I started out as a bread baker. I apprenticed as a bread baker when I was like 19. And I really just like, I got bit by the bug of like making stuff for people. And that creative energy, it's kind of like it can manifest in so many different ways for everyone, and like for me it just does, like through this vehicle of like food and sort of creating media around food and things like that. That's kind of, I say like I'm a creative, and like food's my lane kind of.
Well, I feel like nowadays there's so many ways to have a career in food that we haven't really come up with the words to describe it, in a nuanced way. So like I get that. Like I feel like depending on who's in the room, I'll say I'm a chef or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, so it makes sense to some people. Like, they get it. They understand. They answer the question. Like, I'm not trying to presume that everyone cares. Like, I'm an independent contractor who works with, like, people don't care about that. Like,
Yeah.
you know, they're just like, oh, got it. Like, you make cupcakes, cool. You know, like, right. That's all they need to know. It's fine. Sweet. These questions are so good. What else? Hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you're having a wonderful day too. do you use burlap and barrel? That was a question. I like burlap and barrel. Their spices are amazing. I also love Diaspora. Diaspora Co. Her Sana at Diaspora, her just vertically integrated practices for sourcing and paying, like, her stuff's amazing. She has been like completely overwhelmed with like such support. It's been so wonderful to see her business growing. Shout out to Diaspora Co.
Yeah, she's doing some really cool stuff.
She really is. She really, really is. Hold on, I'm scrolling for more questions. Someone said chef means chief, which implies that you manage people. Yes, and I manage people, and it's fun. I have cool people who work for. Actually, somebody who works for me wrote that. My friend Jen. She is very talented. Oh, name a food you've never tried but might like to work with.
What is that? Is it like Filipino, where there's like a fetus inside of an egg?
Oh yeah, like it's called 1,000-year-old. Is that right? No,
there's this other one where it's the embryo.
Yes, Nicole Ponseca is a really big fan of it. She has it over at Jeepney.
I've never had it before.
You should go.
Jeepney?
Yeah.
I'm so close to there.
You should go.
Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get it.
You should go. She is a doll. She's actually one of the loveliest people. I met her this year. We met for the first time. We met over the internet. We were doing some organizing during the marches to feed people during the marches. Like, that was for me specifically, like, what made a lot of sense to me. I did like a fundraiser and had like bought a bunch of like food and snacks and water and things like that, and would go to protests and like hand out food. And I like put something on my Instagram. I was like, does anybody want to join me? And she was like, I do. So she just like showed up. We'd never met. I don't even know if we were like Instagram buds at that point, but she is a doll. Her restaurant is like doing it during COVID, and you know, she's lovely. You should go get one of those from her for sure.
I want to try it. I'm just so curious, and it's not something I want to make for myself for the first time. I want someone who's an expert.
Yeah. I mean, I think that she would probably like partake with you, which would be super nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I can imagine that she would. Yeah, that would be super fun. That is like cuteness embodied. Please invite me because I want to see that. Okay, so we have like 5 minutes left. It says, so there's all kinds of questions still. I love all these questions, you guys. This is so good. What surprised you the most about the food world when you started?
Well, I think the big reason I got into the food world was because I was very foolish and I thought it was a meritocracy. And I was like, you know, I love how hard you laughed at that. You know exactly what I'm saying.
Yo, carry on. Don't let me stop you.
No, but I mean, I thought this is a great place for a woman of color. No, just like, let the work speak for himself. No.
Totally. So Wild West, anyone can do anything at any time.
I think that was my biggest surprise.
Surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. What's your favorite weird cookbook? I have one, and if anybody watching has access to this cookbook, please. I don't even remember what it's called. You know who I actually think knows about it or like could answer this for me is Brooks Headley from Superiority Burger.
Oh.
There was this cook, maybe you know about it because you grew up in LA. There was this weird cookbook that was like circulating through like the vegan like hardcore scene in like the mid to late 90s, and it was called like I don't even know it. Like it was like a zine. It was like hand stapled, put together by some like collective. It was all these like vegan recipes. I'm not vegan. I do eat that way a lot, and a lot of the things that I make are vegan because I like for as many people as possible to be able to eat things. That's kind of my lane. But this cookbook, it had like all these amazing recipes in it, including this recipe for a lentil mushroom bake that probably if I actually got it, I'd be like, actually, this is so simple. Like I probably could have just whatever. But there's something about, I mean, I haven't seen this cookbook physically for probably about 20 years, but I know it exists because I've like seen it.
I haven't heard of it.
Brooks Headley, if you're watching, I don't know if you are, but like I feel like he knows what I'm talking about and what it is. I feel like once he mentioned it for something, and I'm like, oh, I need it. I need the cookbook.
We have placed an order at Superiority Burger on Sunday, so when we go pick it up, I'll ask him.
Yeah, for ice cream. For ice cream.
Yes, for ice cream.
Yes. Ask him please for me. It's the Moosewood cookbook. No, it's not the Moosewood cookbook. But it wasn't that swish. So what ice cream are you getting there? We have 2 minutes, by the way, but please let's talk about what ice cream you're getting. So for those of you who don't know, Superiority Burgers is a vegetarian restaurant in the East Village. It's really, really known for its ice cream program. They're like ice cream masters. And they have like a whole list. I saw it earlier this week. What'd you get?
I'm getting my favorite flavor, vanilla. His vanilla is so good, and he never ever makes it. So as soon as we saw that he had vanilla, we're like, yes, get a pint.
Right. Yeah, it was noted on the menu. Yeah, it was noted on the menu.
Sorry, I know that's like not that exciting.
No, that's like the secret squirrel. Like that's what I was saying about like telling people the secret. Like that is a secret thing that you're probably like, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Sorry, guys.
No, I mean, you got your pre-order. You're good. I think Instagram's going to kick us off in like 1 minute, but thank you so much for this.
This was really fun.
It was really fun. I'd love to do it again. Congratulations on all your success. I'm like ready for like Saturday, not this Saturday, but in 2 Saturdays, you've got the new Stump Solo coming out. Tune in to the Food 52 column. It's once a month, right? And then we can just follow you on Instagram for all the other amazingness that's going to be coming from you, I'm sure.
Thank you. Thanks. This was really fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Bye.
Bye.